We're going to start our draw in the Senior Division Cup competition, which will this year comprise of the sides from the Senior Division and those of the Premier Division in the initial group stage. 2 teams from each division will comprise the group, with the top 2 sides progressing to the Senior Division Cup quarter-finals and the bottom 2 sides through to the Premier Division Cup quarter-finals, each team therefore playing 3 fixtures in the group stage. So we'll start our draw by placing the Senior Division sides in their respective divisions. And away we go. And the first team out of the hat there is London Mavericks, who go straight into Group A. The next team drawn out are Eastway Athletic. They also go into Group A alongside London Mavericks. We move on into our Group B draw now. And the first side drawn out here are Secret FC. They go into Group B. And they're joined by United Dian. Into Group C now, which starts with El Valiente. And they will be in the same group as Hatch Lane. They also go into Group C there. On into Group D, just the 2 teams remaining. And we start with Bay T Squad. They go into Group D. And no point in spinning the wheel again. We are left with also FC Baller. Those sides going to face each other once again this season after many occasions so far. Okay, we're now going to look at placing our Premier Division sides into their groups, of course starting with Group A. We've put the sides into our wheel and away we go. The first team out of the draw are Flyhouse, who joined the Group A sides. And they'll be joined in that group by Barking Riverside. Also going into Group A there to complete that group. We move on into Group B now. And Group B starts there just with Belfry, it looks like. So Belfry join Group B. And joining Belfry in Group B, another side from the Premier Division, will be, that looks like Roos. Off into Group C now. And we start Group C with Avental. And joining Avental in Group C is Barking and Dagenham Wanderers. And last of all, of course, we have just the 2 teams left, so we all know which groups they're going into. And that begins with East Stars. They go into the Group D. Alongside, of course, Brook Athletic. That completes the draw for the first stage of the Senior Cup competition. Group A, London Mavericks, Eastway Athletic, Flyhouse Athletic and Barking Riverside. Group B is comprised of Secret, United Dian, Belfry and Roos. Group C comprises El Valiente, Hatch Lane, Avental and Barking and Dagenham Wanderers. And Group D comprises of Bay T Squad, FC Baller, East Stars and Brook Athletic. Those ties to be played very soon. It's now time for our draw for this season's Division 1 Cup competition. 9 teams competing here, so we'll have one first round game with the winner of that tie progressing to join the other sides in the quarter-finals. Without further ado, we'll draw those first two sides from the first round. And the first team drawn out is FC Mexico A. They will have a home tie in the first round of the Division 1 Cup. And they're joined in the first round by FC Galaxy. The two FCs there in the division coming up against each other in the first round. Okay, so we now move on to our quarter-final draws. The first of the quarter-finals. The home side here is AC Milano. They get a home draw in the first of those quarter-finals. And they will face Emerson Park. They'll be the visitors to AC Milano in the last 8. We move on to the second quarter-final, and here we're drawing the away side for the tie, and that will be Abridge Village. So Abridge Village will play the winner of either FC Mexico A or FC Galaxy from that first round game. We now move on to the third of the quarter-finals. And it's a home draw here for Chingford Athletic. They'll be at home in the quarter-finals, where they will face Oceana, one of the league leaders this season. And they'll be facing Oceana at home at some point in the next month or so. And so our remaining tie, the first of those out is Barking. So Barking will be the home side in the quarterfinals, where of course they will face Fade and Green. And there you go. Those ties to be played, as I say, in the next month or so, once fixtures permit. It's now time for our Division 2 Cup draw, which will see 11 teams competing and therefore 3 first round fixtures leading into the quarterfinals. We'll start the draw with the first of those first round clashes, and away we go with the wheel spin. And the first team at home in the first round of the competition will be FC Mexico B. They'll have home advantage. And they'll be up against Total Football. So it'll be Mexico versus Total Football in the first round of the competition. The next team drawn out is Eastbrook United. They'll also be at home in the first round. And they will face St Augustine's. That'll be a tough looking clash there. So Eastbrook versus St Augustine's. The last of the first round games now. And it's Frenford who have a home tie here. And they'll be at home to East London Harriers. So they'll be the visitors to the Drive for that first round clash. We now move on to the quarterfinals, and the first of the draws here. And it's Asianos at home with home advantage there in the quarterfinals, and they will take on Thames Ironworks Community. A great looking tie there between two of the sides in the upper echelons of the division. So we have 3 more sides to draw out. This next quarter-final, the home side will be the winner of FC Mexico B or Total Football. And they will be playing against Romeo Colts. So it'll be Romeo Colts there who will travel to the winner of FC Mexico B or Total Football. 2 sides left to draw out now. This is a home side being drawn here in this quarter-final. And that is Corona Redbridge. They'll have home advantage in their quarter-final, and they will face the winners of Eastbrook United and St Augustine's in the quarters. And of course, that just leaves the one team, which is Royal Lions A, and they will of course be playing in that final quarter-final berth slot, and they will be away to the winner of Frenford versus East London Harriers. It's now time for the Division 3 Cup competition draw for this season, with 9 entrants in this competition, meaning one first round game leading into those quarter-finals, of course. So without further ado, we will draw those first 2 teams who will be taking part in the first round. And the first team drawn out will be Alpha, who will have a home draw in that first round fixture. And they will be facing Dagenham Town. They'll face Dagenham Town in the first round there of the cup competition. We now move on to the quarterfinals. And the draw for the first of those sees a home game for Mayfield Kings. Mayfield Kings there will have home advantage in their quarterfinal. And they will face... They'll face Upshire Forest. So it'll be Upshire Forest travelling down to Hainault there to play in that quarter-final fixture. We move on to the next quarter-final game. And, of course, the home side will see the winner of Alpha or Dagenham Town. They'll be travelling, though, to play Leytonstone Athletic. So Leytonstone will be the side there in the quarter-finals, facing either Alpha or Dagenham Town. 2 more quarter-finals to draw, therefore. And the first of those is Imperial Row. So Imperial Row will have home advantage in their quarter-final. And they will face Higham Hill. So it'll be Higham Hill travelling down to Aveley there to face Imperial Row. And the last draw, of course, we know the 2 teams taking part, but we do have to sort out home advantage. And the first home side is Inside Success. So they'll be at home in the quarter-final. And, of course, they will face Debden Sports Reserves. The side there will be the side travelling. And that completes our draw, therefore, for the Division 3 Cup competition. We move on now to our Division 4 Cup draw for this season's competition. And this one consists of 11 entrants, meaning 3 first round ties following into those quarter-finals, of course. We will start the draw with those first round sides, and away we go. And the first team out of the hat is Lonsdale. They'll have a home tie in the first round of the competition. And they will face Titans United. The Dagenham-based side there, making the journey over to Hainault to face Lonsdale. We move on to our next first round clash. And this sees Chingford Athletic Reserves, given the home draw there. And they will face Ace Athletics. Only played each other recently in the league. That was a close game as well, so that'll be a fascinating tie. Ace Athletics making the trip to Chingford Athletic Reserves. And the final first round game sees Ultimate Vision Reserves. They're at home. And they will take on Rayfield Park Rovers. The battle of the 2 long names in the division there. We now, of course, move on to our quarter-final draw. And the first of the teams drawn in the quarter-final, a home tie, of course. And it's Ainsley. Ainsley will have home advantage in their quarter-final. And they will take on Sing Sabah Barking. A battle for some of the top sides in the division there. Ainsley at home to Sing Sabah Barking. Now the next tie, of course, will see the winner of Lonsdale or Titans at home in the quarter-final, where they will face United Amateurs. So United Amateurs will make the trip to either Hainault, where they already play, of course, or they'll be travelling to Dagenham to face Titans United at their old ground. In the next tie for the quarter-final, this is a home tie being drawn now. And the home side here is Romford Athletic Dons. So they'll have home advantage in the quarterfinals of the competition. And they will face the winner of either Chingford Athletic Reserves or Ace Athletics in that game. And that just leaves the one side, which is Blackwall Rovers. And Blackwall will be facing either Ultimate Vision Reserves or Rayfield Park Rovers. Obviously those games to be played in the next few weeks. We now move on to our draw for this season's Division 5 Cup competition, comprising of 12 teams. Therefore, we have 4 first round games to draw first of all, with those sides progressing through to the quarterfinals. Without further ado, we'll draw the first side in the first round of the competition, and it will be a home tie for Custom House Community. They'll be at home in the first round, and they will face, in that game, Belfry Reserves. So Belfry will make the trip to Beckton there to take on Custom House Community in the first round of the competition. Our next home side in the first round is Royal Lions B, the Hainault based side there, looking to make progress in the cup competition. And they will be up against Dagenham Rangers. So Dagenham Rangers will make the trip to Hainault there to take on Royal Lions B. The next team to be drawn in the first round is Byron Red Star. So Byron will have home advantage there in the first round of the competition, an informed team after recent weeks. And they will face Eastern Avenue. Eastern Avenue will make the trip down the A12 there to take on Byron Red Star. Our next team for the final first round tie will see a home game for Valence United. Valence will have home advantage in their tie. And they'll face Ultimate Vision A. So Ultimate Vision A will be the visitors to Valence United to complete the first round draw for the competition. Now we move on to our quarterfinals. Of course, the winner of Custom House Community and Belfry Reserves will move on to this tie and be the home side. And they will take on Atletico City. Atletico City will have a away tie at either Custom House Community or Belfry Reserves. In the next of the quarterfinal ties, again, Royal Lions B or Dagenham Rangers will move on to become the home side in their tie, and they will face Colebrook Royals Vets. So Colebrook Royals Vets, the league leaders at the present time, will travel to either Royal Lions B or Dagenham Rangers. In the next of the quarterfinals, we're drawing a home side here. And it's Young Royals who are drawn at home. And they take their place as the home side in their tie, taking on either Byron Red Star or Eastern Avenue. And of course that just leaves one side, which is United Borough. And they will be the away side in their tie, taking on either Valence United or Ultimate Vision A. Our final draw is, of course, the Division 6 Cup competition. Actually the inaugural completion of this competition, as we didn't manage to get to it last season. So it will be our first crowned winner this year. We start off with, of course, 2 first round ties, as there are 10 entrants in the competition. And the first of those home sides will now be drawn. And it's Ivory United. So Ivory United will have a home tie in the first round of the competition, where they will face Epping Royals. So Epping Royals will be the visitors to Ivory United there in the first round of the competition. One more first round tie to draw, and that is Woodford Green United. So Woodford Green will have home advantage playing at Hainault Rec there in the first round of the competition. And they will face Valence United Reserves, an intriguing tie there. Number 9, Valence United Reserves will take on Woodford Green. We now, of course, move on into our quarter-final draw, in which we will now draw the first of those, the home side, of course, first up, will be Mansfield Rangers. They'll have home advantage there. And they will be taking on Ping City Phoenixes, a local derby game there. A Walthamstow derby. Ping City taking on Mansfield Rangers. Now, of course, in the next quarter-final, we will have the winner of Ivory United or Epping Royals. They'll be at home, and they will be taking on London Legacy. So Legacy get a bye through to the quarter-finals, where they will face the winner of Ivory United or Epping Royals. In the next of the quarter-finals, we're drawing out a home side here. And that home side is Colebrook Royals Reserve. So Colebrook will have home advantage, and they will face the winner of Woodford Green United or Valence United Reserves. One more quarter-final to draw. We know who the two teams will be. We just need to work out the order. And home advantage here goes to Royal Lions C. So they'll be at home, taking on, of course, Epping Forest Falcons, which concludes the draw for the Division 6 Cup for this season.